Here at the Malibu Command Center, you've got several screens that help control all your accessories on the boat. The main screen up here, this is where you're going to get all your engine vitals, speed, RPM, ballast tank information, wedge, and surf gate info. Along the bottom side, this is where you can change your center view. Looking around the perimeter of the screen currently, it's going to show battery voltage, engine temperature, and oil pressure. Depth will appear up here in the top left-hand corner. Your go home button right here. This button's really nice. If you're out on the water, all your ballast tanks are full, your wedge is out, your surf gates are out, your cruise control's on. The home button is your go home, one touch, easy, put everything away button. So it'll drain all the ballast, put the surf gates away, stow the wedge, and turn your cruise control off for you. In the bottom left-hand corner is the docking mode. Docking mode basically just desensitizes your throttle response. Makes it a little easier for those beginners getting in and out of their slips. Over time, you're going to get used to how the boat operates out on the water, and docking mode sometimes might mix you up. It's totally user preference. Mile per hour gauge here, as well as your RPM gauge. You can cycle through RPM or miles per hour by pressing the little icon down here. Fuel level, turning your cruise control on and on. You can change your set speed with the up and down arrows right here. Moving over to the right side, if you're connected to a Bluetooth device, it'll show your signal strength as well as your recharge level. Nighttime mode just dims the screens down to make it not as bright. You have your compass up here as well as your air and water temperature. Next to that is a clock. In this gauge here is your wedge position, your surf gate position, and also your ballast levels. Coming into the center area of the screen, currently we're looking at a depth view. It will show the lake bed and also the depth right up here. Here's your ballast screen. You can select fill all, drain all, or stop all right here. Or if you want to tank at a certain percentage, you can do that right here. You could select tanks individually. Drain, fill, put them at a certain percentage. Moving over, here's your preset screen. This is where you can enter in up to 200 presets, or I think it's actually even more than 200 presets. You're going to never run out of room for you and your friends to have their specific setup on the boat. If you want to edit any of these presets, you can go into there. You can also go down and you could load or create new ones. So for example, if you go down to the empty slot, you could edit that empty slot. Create your own personal preset name. Select an icon you want next to it. If you're setting up a surfing preset, do you want it for the left or right side of the boat? Do you want to surf left or right? How fast do you want to go? How full do you want all your ballast levels? Which position do you want the wedge? And then how loud do you want the stereo to turn up? So automatically when you throttle up, how loud do you want the stereo to be? And then it's in there. Say, for example, you want to surf left or select your actual preset. Go ahead and hit load, and then all those presets we just saw get loaded into the boat. Here's our depth view, which we saw at first. If your boat is equipped with a docking camera or a reverse camera, this is where you can see that. And last but not least, this is just a different view showing some engine vitals. So mile per hour in the middle, engine hours right here, oil pressure, engine coolant temperature, and battery voltage. Coming off to the left-hand screen next to the steering wheel, here's where you can control all your accessories for the boat. Currently in the switch menu, this is where you can manually control the bilge pump, the heaters, a seat heater if optioned on the boat, rear bilge pump, blower, or all off. If you want to, for example, if you have your bilges on and you want to just touch one button to turn them off, hit all off and everything will turn off. Moving over to lights. Depending upon your options, some of the other ones will appear on here. Your basic ones are going to be your navigation, your anchor light, interior lights, storage lights. If your boat has docking lights, underwater lights, or tower lights, this is where you can turn it on and off as well. Still has the all off button down here. Next is stereo. Your power button to turn the stereo on and off is right here. It will go to whatever source of music you were listening to last. If you want to change the source of music, just hit the source button, and then you can go and select whatever source of music you want to listen to. For example, if you want to go to Bluetooth, then you can hit pair, and then you can go ahead and find this boat on your device and pair up to it. Equalizer tab brings up your treble, your middle, your bass, and your balance. Your mixer tab is going to bring up your auto volume setting, how loud you want the stereo to auto turn up when you throttle up in the boat. If your boat has a subwoofer, to control the sub. Tower speakers, front and rear zone as well. You can sync them all together to make them all the same volume right there on the bottom. Coming up in our last menu to go through is your Android menu. This is where you can go and you can download apps onto the boat. One of our customers' favorite apps to download onto here is Spotify. You can download your Spotify playlist onto the boat. In order to do so, the boat has to be connected to a Wi-Fi signal. You might have to hotspot your phone in order to download stuff onto the boat. Last but not least is our settings screen. This is where we go in and our technicians can perform some diagnostic information. Or if you're experiencing issue with the boat, you can go in and you can click the diagnostic tab and see what sort of alarms are going off and give our technicians and our staff a little bit of guidance to help troubleshoot what's going on. Over on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your physical gauges, physical buttons for the wedge and the surf gate. So you can control those with push buttons here, as well as touch on the screen itself. The knob here controls your stereo volume up and down. Your mute if you push it in. If you push it to the left, previous track. Push it to the right, next track for music. If you tab up, my set speed for cruise control goes up. If I tab it down, my set speed for cruise control goes down. Phone holder right there. You have a little USB input down here. Your horn, your power button, and your start-stop button for the engine. Your steering wheel is mounted to a tilt base. You can tilt it up and down, just like so. And then the throttle. Your throttle right here, you lift up on the little tab, go forward, and pull it backwards to go into reverse. Neutral only mode is activated by pressing this button here and then sliding the throttle forward or backwards. Your blue light will turn on. This disengages the transmission. Something our technicians utilize when servicing the boat to raise the engine RPM to get all the fluids up to the correct temperature. You also have a safety lanyard located right here, similar to a jet ski safety lanyard. Make sure this is in place and your little switch is in the up position or the run position. If this is pulled out or the switch is down, the boat will not start. All Malibus are also equipped with a physical key. This key does not need to be in to start the boat. This is for emergency use only. If your touchscreen goes out, or your start button isn't working, or your power button isn't working, you can always start the boat with a key. My recommendation is store that key somewhere safe in the boat, tape it up somewhere so you know where it is. You don't necessarily need to keep it in there, but in the case of an emergency, if you need it, you can find it. And that's the Malibu Dash.